The first pale warmth of morning touched the rooftops of Rome with a soft golden shimmer, sliding gently across red tiles, marble columns, and the quiet courtyards of homes still tucked in the half-silence of dawn. In the distance, the Tiber drifted with its usual slow murmur, carrying the reflections of a waking sky on its broad, unhurried surface. The city breathed in deeply, shaking off the stillness of night, and among the places preparing to welcome the day, none stirred more subtly than the great public baths. On this morning, a man named Marcus walked through the narrow streets with an easy, unhurried gait. His sandals brushed lightly through the dust. He carried only a small bundle wrapped in cloth, containing a towel, a pot of oil, and a simple strigil for scraping the skin. The air was cool, and the faint scent of distant hearth fires drifted along the breeze. Ahead, the building of the baths rose quietly against the morning sky. Built from warm-toned stone and decorated with modest carvings, it stood not as a place of luxury, but as a gentle anchor in daily Roman life. Smoke rose in thin threads from the furnaces deep within, where slaves had been awake long before dawn, feeding firewood into the hypocaust ovens that warmed the floors and walls of the bathing rooms. Marcus approached the entrance, passing beneath a simple archway where cool shadow clung to the stone. Just inside, the dim light revealed the apoditerium, the changing room. A few early visitors were already there, unfastening their sandals, folding their tunics, and placing their belongings into small niches along the walls. The sound of soft conversation echoed gently, blending with the faint scrape of sandals on stone. Marcus settled onto a low bench and unwrapped his bundle. His fingers moved calmly, neatly, as he removed his clothing and set it into a niche. The stone beneath his feet was cool, even as warmth from the nearby furnaces began to spread slowly through the building. A slave attendant moved through the room with quiet efficiency, offering assistance where needed and keeping watch over the visitors' belongings. With his towel draped loosely over his shoulder, Marcus stepped deeper into the baths. The next room was the frigidarium, the cool chamber. Light filtered through a circular opening in the ceiling, illuminating the small pool at the center. The water was still, reflecting the pale sky above. A young boy splashed quietly at the water's edge, his father watching nearby with a patient smile. The faint echo of their movements created a gentle, rhythmic sound. Marcus approached the water, but did not enter just yet. He preferred to begin his routine in the warmer rooms, letting the heat loosen his body before the cool plunge. So he continued on, walking through a short passageway where the air grew warmer and fragrant with hints of heated stone, wood smoke, and the faint sweetness of oils carried on the skin of passing bathers. He entered the tepidarium, the warm room. Steam drifted softly through the air in thin, lazy tendrils. The walls were lined with smooth tiles painted in gentle earth tones. A few men reclined on benches along the walls, their bodies glistening faintly with warmth as they spoke in subdued voices. No one was hurried here. The tepidarium was a place to pause, to let the body adjust to the temperature, to feel the quiet pulse of heat emanating from the radiant floors. Marcus sat upon a warm bench, the stone embracing his body with a comforting glow. The warmth seeped slowly into his shoulders, easing away the stiffness that had gathered during sleep. Around him, the air carried the subtle sound of steam hissing from tiny vents in the floor. the low hum of conversation, and the occasional soft exhale of a bather relaxing deeply. A slave attendant offered him a bowl of lightly scented oil to prepare for the next stages of bathing. Marcus accepted it with a nod, dipping his fingers into the smooth liquid. The fragrance, something mild, perhaps infused with bay leaves, drifted upward in a gentle wave. He rubbed it across his arms and chest, letting the warmth help the oil sink slowly into his skin. After several minutes, when his body felt supple and relaxed, Marcus stood and made his way toward the caldarium, the hot room. The entrance was draped with a thick curtain to keep the heat inside. As he slipped through it, a wave of dense, welcoming warmth enveloped him. The room glowed softly with steam, which hung in the air like a warm mist. The light came from small windows high on the walls, where the sun's early rays filtered through amber-colored glass. The floor, heated by the hypocaust below, was pleasantly hot beneath his feet. In the center of the room, a shallow pool of hot water shimmered in the dim light. A few bathers stood or sat along its edge, their bodies half submerged, as they spoke quietly or simply rested with their eyes half closed. The surface of the water rippled gently each time someone shifted, creating soft, zigzag reflections that danced across the steamy air. Marcus found a place near the pool and sat on the edge, letting the heat embrace his legs. The sensation was slow and soothing, as if the warmth were untying knots of tension one by one. After a moment, he slipped further into the water, allowing the heat to spread across his body. He leaned back against the smooth stone, listening to the muffled sounds around him, the drip of water from the roof, the faint splash of movement, the soft sighs of bathers settling deeper into comfort. As time passed, the heat grew intense, and Marcus felt sweat bead gently along his skin. This was the moment he always appreciated, the quiet, heavy warmth melting away weariness, clearing his mind with its gentle insistence. He took his strigil from the towel beside him and began to scrape the oil and sweat from his skin with slow, steady motions. The curved tool glided along his arms, chest, and back, removing the mixture and leaving his skin feeling warm and refreshed. A slave attendant approached with a small bucket of warm water and poured it slowly over Marcus's shoulders, the stream flowing in a smooth cascade. It ran down his back, soothing and pleasant, mixing with the last remnants of oil before disappearing into the pool. Marcus nodded his thanks, and the attendant moved on to help another visitor. After lingering a bit longer in the caldarium, Marcus felt the need for cooler air. His breathing had grown deep and slow in the heat, and a gentle lightheadedness signaled that it was time to move. So he rose from the water, letting droplets fall softly to the floor, and walked back through the curtain into the tepidarium. The shift in temperature felt immediately refreshing. The tepidarium's warmth was gentler than the caldarium's, and Marcus sat for a moment to allow his body to settle. Around him, more visitors had arrived. A group of older men discussed the events of the city in calm, thoughtful tones. Two young men practiced gentle exercises, simple stretches and movements meant to keep the body limber. Their motions were slow, mirroring the relaxed pace of the bathhouse itself. After resting, Marcus continued to the frigidarium. This time he approached the cool pool with purpose. The air here was crisp compared to the steamy rooms behind him, and a faint chill brushed his skin. He stepped into the water 1 foot at a time, feeling the coolness ripple upward. Then, taking a steady breath, he submerged himself fully. The shock of cool water was brief but invigorating. His skin tightened, his senses sharpened, and a sense of clarity washed over him. He floated for a moment, feeling the pool's stillness cradle him. Light from the ceiling oculus shimmered across the surface, forming soft patterns that wavered gently as he moved. When he emerged, water trickling down his body, he felt deeply awake, refreshed, and calm. The morning's warmth and steam had opened him. The cool plunge closed him again, sealing in the sense of renewal. Marcus dried himself slowly with his towel and stepped into a small side room where attendants offered massages. He chose to sit for just a brief moment, letting one of the attendants rub a small amount of oil into his shoulders. The massage was gentle, meant not to invigorate but to soothe. Fingers moved in slow circles, working the softened muscles with patience. Afterward, Marcus returned to the apoditerium. The room was busier now. More bathers were arriving, some laughing softly among friends, others moving with the slow confidence of people who had visited the baths countless times. The combination of warm stone, cool shadows, and the mingled scents of oil, steam, and water created an atmosphere that wrapped around everyone who entered. Marcus retrieved his clothing from the niche and dressed in quiet motions. His skin felt clean, warm, and lightly scented. As he tied his belt and folded his towel back into the bundle, he reflected on the steady rhythm of the baths, how they offered not only cleanliness, but peace, community, and a gentle pause within the wider noise of Roman life. Before leaving, he paused briefly at the doorway. Sunlight had grown brighter outside, slipping into the corridor in golden slants. The day was fully awake now. He stepped into the street and felt the warmth of the sun on his face, the soft stir of city life rising around him. Vendors were setting out baskets of fruit. Children ran along the street with their sandals tapping lightly on stone, and the distant sound of wheels turning along the main road drifted through the air. Marcus walked slowly, savoring the calm that lingered from his time in the baths. The warmth in his limbs remained soft and steady. The lightness in his step revealed how deeply the morning ritual had eased him. He passed neighbors carrying jugs of water, greeted acquaintances with quiet nods, and made his way toward the modest workshop where he spent most of his days. As he moved through Rome, he thought of the baths not as a place of indulgence, but as a gentle anchor, a place where steam and stone, water and warmth invited a person to slow down, breathe deeply, and feel the soft weight of the day settle into something manageable. The bathhouse behind him continued to hum with life. More visitors would arrive, laborers seeking relief from work, older men looking for conversation, children splashing playfully in the cool pool, women in separate sections sharing the same calming routines. Slaves would tend the furnaces, feeding the fires with methodical care. Attendants would move softly from room to room, and the baths would continue their quiet purpose, offering warmth, cleansing, and a gentle refuge within the great, ever-moving city. As Marcus disappeared into the sunlight, the steam of the caldarium rose once more inside the bathhouse, drifting slowly through warm air and catching the glow of the morning. Its soft, smoky tendrils curled upward, settling over the room like a delicate veil, a quiet symbol of the steady, peaceful life flowing quietly through the heart of Rome.